In 1885, a will was read in Hancock County, Georgia. A former slave girl had been left everything. 79 white relatives were furious, and the entire nation was watching. In post-Civil War Georgia, legal emancipation had arrived, but it brought no shield of safety. The old plantation aristocracy maintained its grip through violent intimidation, local customs, and discriminatory state laws. While the 14th Amendment existed on paper to guarantee equal protection, it was rarely invoked to defend black property. Within this environment, interracial inheritance was treated as a social aberration and a legal impossibility. Georgia courts remained deeply hostile arenas, engineered to preserve white supremacy and systematically deny black claims. To the white establishment, black land ownership was a threat, but a former slave inheriting a vast cotton empire was a direct assault on the social order. A black woman claiming such wealth confronted a legal system built to keep her powerless. Her struggle went far beyond a family dispute, directly challenging the foundations of the post-war South. On November 20th, 1849, a child was born on a plantation in Hancock County, Georgia. Her mother, Julia Frances Lewis, was an enslaved house servant. Julia was only 12 years old when she was raped by her master, 40-year-old David Dickson. The child born from this violence was named Amanda. Under the laws of Georgia, Amanda took the status of her mother. She was born enslaved, despite her father being the wealthiest planter in the county. State laws strictly prohibited slaveholders from freeing their human property. This meant Amanda was legally owned by her own paternal grandmother, Elizabeth Scholars Dickson. After she was weaned, the infant was separated from Julia and brought directly into the grandmother's white household. Amanda grew up inside the main plantation house, raised in comfort alongside her white relatives, yet remaining, in the eyes of the law, a piece of property owned by the woman she called grandmother. David Dickson ensured Amanda received an education fit for a wealthy white lady, instructing her in reading, writing, piano, and the pragmatics of business management. As the celebrated Prince of Georgia farmers and a pioneer of agricultural reform, he gave his daughter the exact tools she would need to oversee an empire. When emancipation arrived in 1865, 16-year-old Amanda was legally free, yet her position in the post-war South remained fragile. At 17, she married her white cousin, a Confederate veteran named Charles Eubanks. The union was brief and unhappy, producing two sons, Julian and Charles Green, before dissolving in 1870. Reclaiming her maiden name, Amanda returned with her children to her father's estate. Seeking to secure her intellectual independence, she enrolled in the Normal School of Atlanta University in 1876. For 2 years, she trained among the first generation of free black scholars, polishing the literacy and poise that would soon allow her to stand before the highest courts in Georgia and claim what was hers. On February 18, 1885, David Dickson died, leaving a void at the center of one of Georgia's wealthiest agricultural empires. He controlled more than 15,000 acres of land, vast personal property, and substantial cash reserves. But it was the opening of his last will and testament that stunned the public. Dickson bypassed his white relatives entirely, naming his mixed-race daughter, Amanda, and her two sons as the sole beneficiaries of his immense estate. Beyond the land and personal possessions, the bequest included $3,000 in cash. To secure her independence, the document contained a strict, protective clause. It explicitly prohibited any future husband or any other person from interfering with Amanda's independent administration of her wealth. In a society built on the complete exclusion of black people, a former slave was suddenly the legal owner of a massive fortune. The sheer scale of this bequest turned a family matter into a national scandal, sparking an immediate confrontation over who had the right to own the South. 79 white relatives launched a coordinated legal assault to reclaim the estate. To strip Amanda and her sons of their inheritance, they filed suit, mounting 3 specific challenges. They argued that David Dickson was of unsound mind, that he had been unduly influenced by Amanda and her mother, and they denied his paternity altogether, claiming Amanda was not his daughter. This alliance of cousins, nieces, and nephews expected a swift victory in the local courts of post-war Georgia. But the legal machinery did not bend to their racial outrage. In July 1885, Hancock County probate judge R.H. Lewis ruled in Amanda's favor, declaring the will valid. Refusing to yield, the relatives appealed. In November 1885, the Hancock County Superior Court affirmed that decision, upholding the will. Amanda had secured her initial victories, but her challengers immediately prepared their final appeal to the state Supreme Court. In 1887, this bitter family war reached its final destination, the Supreme Court of Georgia. The 79 white relatives demanded a final reversal, but the justices issued a unanimous decision. Writing the opinion in the case registered as 78 Georgia Reports, Justice Nathaniel Sayer swept the racial challenges aside. The court declared that under the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment, Amanda was a citizen of the United States, entitled to the exact same property rights as any white heir. In a post-Reconstruction South, designed to strip Black Americans of their agency, this was a profound inversion of the racial hierarchy. A woman born as property had successfully used the federal Constitution to defend her inheritance, defeating her white challengers before the highest court in the state. Amanda America Dickson had made the promise of equal protection a reality, securing one of the most significant legal victories of the 19th century. In July 1886, Amanda settled in Augusta, seeking a life of quiet dignity. She purchased a grand 7-bedroom red brick home at 448 Telfair Street, situated in one of the city's most affluent neighborhoods. In this new space, she became a central figure among Augusta's elite Black community, respected for her intellect, elegance, and quiet generosity. In July 1890, she married Nathan Toomer, a wealthy, educated man who, like Amanda, had been born into slavery. Yet, in a shifting South, her exceptional fortune and high visibility made her a target. To many, she was a source of pride. To others, an intolerable provocation. In 1893, domestic peace shattered. Amanda's youngest son, Charles, grew obsessed with his 14-year-old stepsister, Mamie Toomer. To protect her, Amanda and Nathan sent the child to a Baltimore convent school, but Charles pursued her, orchestrating a failed kidnapping attempt with 3 accomplices who were arrested. Amanda and Nathan rushed north to bring Mamie home. Despite their wealth, the train ride stripped away their shield of privilege. Denied first-class Pullman seating because of their race, they were forced into harsh, exhausting conditions. They returned to Augusta on June 9, 1893. Amanda's body could not bear the strain. Diagnosed with neurasthenia, she died on June 11th at age 43. She was buried in her wedding dress at Cedar Grove Cemetery. Leaving no will, her estate was divided quietly among her mother and her sons. Amanda's triumph proved that even a system built on exclusion could be forced to yield. Yet, her quiet erasure reminds us that winning the battle is only half the struggle. The fight to be remembered continues. Subscribe to help us keep these extraordinary histories alive.